Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another match reaction on the Sheffield United way. We're going to be talking about Manchester United 4, Sheffield United 2, which, I'll be honest, about half an hour ago, something like that, maybe a little bit more, I was thinking, do you know what? We've gone ahead twice. We might not win this game, but I don't think we're going to lose it. And we've lost it by 2 goals. I just wish we wouldn't keep doing this to ourselves. At least we're getting hope. At least we're getting our hopes up for something, because this would be so much worse if we weren't scoring goals and we weren't having a good time. So at least we've scored a couple of goals tonight. Ben Brereton Diaz has got his 5th of the season for us, which is probably not far off Harmer. It's probably not far off McBurney either. I'm not sure which one has got more goals this season, but to say that he only joined us in January, that is fantastic. Obviously, Jayden Bogle getting one earlier on as well. He certainly deserves everything that comes his way, Jayden Bogle, because he's been one of the shining lights of this season for me and for a lot of other Blades fans as well. So let's just crack on straight into it, shall we? Because it's late on. I did put this in at 20 past 10, and I've done it early. I've done it at quarter past because I just want to get it out of the way. I'm going to be honest. I think it is the hope that kills you, isn't it? It's constantly the hope that kills you. And yeah, but like I said earlier on, at least we're not losing 5-0, 6-0, 8-0 away from home. We at least put in a bit of a shift away from home. And it almost feels like we do the right things away from home. We sit back and we have pace on the break, and that's certainly what we did tonight. And Man United, I won't say we're there for the taking, because they've obviously got a lot of quality in this squad. There's still quite a hope table. I don't know how they keep doing it year in, year out, Man United. They're not a very good team. However, they always seem to finish in and around the Champions League, either just inside it or just outside it. Like, you look at Chelsea, and they are nowhere near. And I know they've had a big overhaul and lots of new players in. But Man United, however bad they are, always seem to be around that Champions League spot. They just seem to grind out results. And today, I wouldn't say they grinded it out, just better quality on the day. And yeah, I think they probably had a little bit of a bit between the teeth after that Coventry game as well. So this could have been a lot worse for us tonight, in all honesty. And I think they put in a really, really good shift. Looking at the team that started the game, obviously, it looks like McBurney's going to be out for some time, many, many months, apparently, according to Alan Nixon. It really annoys me that people like that get this information before the fans do. But yeah, it is what it is. At least it's come out. It's nice to know these things, even though it's not nice to know, if you know what I mean. I actually called this exact team on my fan hub, so go and sign up to fan hub, by the way. I called the exact team, except for I've been calling for it all week. Where's Foderingham to go in the goal? And I went Ivo Gerbic, didn't I? That's the only reason why I didn't get 11 out of 11, which was a little bit annoying, because it's great to see Andre Brooks back in the team. It's great to see Archer being given some minutes, even though he's not going to be with us next season. I would like to see Sula get more minutes. Obviously, we decided to play Archer, which I'm not against, because I like Archer as a player. I don't think he's had a great season. He's had some bursts of quality, but not enough for me anyway. Asula is going to be with us next season. Archer is not. McAtee is not. Ben Brereton Diaz is not. I still want to see the Blades be competitive and try and win games of football, even though we're practically down. I don't know if we're down. I don't think we're down as of right now. We probably will be by the weekend. But yeah, I'd like to see more of Will Asula. Will Asula, like I say, is going to be a Sheffield United player next season. So I want to see Will Asula playing more games of football. And he wouldn't have come on if it wasn't for James McAtee coming on, getting injured, going off. So yeah, Chris, if you're watching, you're definitely not. Play Will Asula more, please. Please. I think he's a great player. I think he's going to be a great player in the future. Maybe he needs a loan next season to score a bag load of goals and come back to us, or maybe he's ready for the step up, step down, whatever you want to call it, of the championship. Anyway, so yeah, like I say, it was nice to see Archer on the team sheet up front with Ben Brereton Diaz. There's obviously pace up top there, and it clearly showed tonight because we got a lot of joy out of Man United on the break and nicking the ball when we were pressing high. Obviously, Wes Foderingham between the sticks is the big thing of the night, and he made some unbelievable saves tonight. And it was nice to see. It really was. I've always been a big fan of Wes. Um, this season, he's been testing because he's made some terrible mistakes. He's also conceded goals which you thought he could do better with. Like, for instance, the Man United goal against us at Bramall Lane from Dallo. It looked like he should have done better with that. There's loads more like that. Um, but he's better than Ivo Gerbic, isn't he? He just is. And he had a fantastic game tonight. I actually think Bruno's, I can't remember which one it was, but the shot from distance that went in the top corner or far corner, I think Wes is injured at this point, and I think he gets closer to this if he's not injured. I don't think he can move his feet quick enough. After that McTominay foot into the wherever his foot ended up, I think Wes did pick up that injury, and I think he. Let's hope he's not injured for the weekend because I want to see Wes carry on in the goal. But anyway, yeah, so Holgate back in after Wilder going crazy and going four at the back at the weekend against Burnley. Holgate had an absolute shocker for me. So many times he made mistakes tonight. We will get onto it talking about it, but Holgate's been playing really well recently, and I called Wilder out in the last video and said that Holgate should be starting. Wow. I'm not saying I was wrong, but Holgate just had a bad game tonight. I thought Anel had a half decent game. I only said half decent because I thought he should have done more for their fourth goal. Again, we'll get onto it. Trusty was okay, but he made mistakes as well. Ozzy and Bogle, I thought they were both really good at fullback. Obviously, Bogle got his goal as well. Harmer, Arblaster, Brooks. I was a little bit disappointed that Brooks came off at half time. I don't think he did anything wrong. Um, Maybe he was chasing shadows, but we were all chasing shadows really in that first half because Man United had so much of the ball. Arblaster had another great game. I thought Harmer played really well again. Always looks dangerous when he's going forward, Gus Harmer. And then Ben Brereton Diaz is like most weeks, he's one of the best players on the pitch for us. Archie didn't have his best game. I don't really remember him doing too many things. Brought the ball down in areas, in tight areas, and won his throw-ins and corners, but he didn't really do anything else other than that. He had a shot in the first half that dribbled wide with his left foot, but other than that, can't remember much else from him. Anyway, let's start off talking about the game. We're gonna have to, aren't we? We're gonna have to talk about this. So, in the 12th minute, this is the one that I was talking about. We get the ball with Archer. Ben Brereton Diaz is asking to be played through. He has a shot. It trickles wide, and it's a really poor shot from Cameron Archer's point of view. Like, Archer's way better than that. I ain't seen him shoot too many times with his left foot in a Blade shirt, but yeah, he's got a better shot on him than that. And if he hasn't, then he lays it through. He should have let it through earlier on, or at least tried taking the man on. I don't know. But it wasn't very good. In the 14th minute, the Blades nicked the ball and set Ben Brereton Diaz free, but he hits a tame shot through the defender, I think it was, and straight at Anana. It was really simple for him to save. In the 19th minute, the Blades just kept catching Man United on the break, but that final ball wasn't good enough. I think it was Ben Brereton Diaz this time. Final ball not good enough, and nothing comes of it. In the 21st minute, Garnacho, he does a give and go. I can't remember who it was with, but he's right in the middle of the goal. Trusty comes across to try and stop it. He sidesteps Trusty. Trusty tries to get back across, and I think Trusty's blocking the right hand side from our point of view, looking out. I think Trust is blocking the right hand side of the goal, so Garnacho feels like he has to go Wes's side, and it's a pretty tame effort from Garnacho, and Wes makes a good save, but Wes stands up tall all the way through this move, and I think that's what makes Garnacho just not find the back of the net really, because Wes is constantly there. He's like, I'm not moving until you look like you're going to shoot. I am not moving. And he makes a really, really good save. Actually, after about 30 seconds of this game, Wes made a really, really good save that was going into the top corner and he pushed it over the bar. I did tweet out saying that we'd be 1-0 down if Ivo Gerbic was in the goal. Fortunately, Wes made some really, really good saves in the first and in the second, but mostly in the first. He was like a man possessed in that first half, Wes Foderingham, and you love to see it. You really do. I've kind of skipped over a lot of the Man United chances because we've got a lot to talk about in this video. But in the 35th minute, the Blades go 1-0 up. Anana gets the ball played back to him. He plays a hospital ball out to Dallo, I think it was. Yeah, it was out to Dallo because it was 20 against 20. Bogle against Dallo. Bogle runs in, cuts it out. First touch, a little bit under his feet. Second touch, perfect into his feet, out of his feet. And from where I was watching, this looks like Bogle is just going to side foot it across goal for somebody to finish. But when you see it from a different angle, he looks like he's shooting the whole time. And he looks like he's trying to pass it across Anana and then kind of just sidesteps and puts it in the front post. It reminded me of a similar goal he scored earlier on in the season, or maybe only a few games ago at Bramall Lane, where he puts it. It's the Chelsea game, wasn't it? He put it in that front post, and he's enjoying putting balls into that front post. And again, it's nice to see Jayden Bogle getting on the score sheet because that is what Jayden Bogle is good at, getting forward and just being on the front foot. He's certainly not the best defender in the world, but he's very, very good going forward, and he's proven it in the Premier League as well. So hopefully we get him for another season. Obviously, we've got a year that we can trigger to keep him here for another year. Obviously, somebody could come in and try and buy him. Who knows? Who knows? But it'd be nice to see Bogle here next season and take the confidence that he's got from this Premier League season and how well he's played since Wilder's come in. And take that into the Championship, because he should be one of the best right wing backs or right backs in the Championship next season. If we were to go down, believe it or not, we probably are going to do that. And we only stayed ahead, unfortunately, for 7 minutes. 42nd minute, 3 minutes before half time, Harry Maguire scores a header. It's a lovely little flick into the far corner. I think it's a corner that originally comes in, gets knocked back out. Garnacho was a thorn in our side all night long. I really, really rate Garnacho. I really, really do. And he doesn't cup his ears to Championship clubs. So, got a lot of respect for Garnacho. Puts a beautiful ball into the box where Harry Maguire, I was going to say, just has to flick it into the corner. It's not an easy finish, this. He flicks it in beautifully into that far corner. Two things. First thing is that it obviously went to VAR because everything does these days. It was cleared up very, very quickly, a little bit too quickly for most Blades' liking. There was some drawn lines on Twitter. I don't know where that came from, but he did look just onside. It looked massively offside with one of the angles. But yeah, unfortunately, Trusty's playing him on. He comes right out to Garnacho. He doesn't know what's behind him. It's one of those where I'm actually not going to blame Trusty, believe it or not. But I am going to blame Mason Holgate. And I said earlier on that I thought he had a shocker of a game in this one. And this was probably the first shocker that he had in this game, because he just gets the wrong side of Harry Maguire. And that, I know Harry Maguire's strong, but you shouldn't let him get in that position in the first place. You should be goal side. That is schoolboy defending. That is what everybody gets taught when they grow up playing football. If you're a defender, goal side, and he's the opposite side. He tries to get his body across when the ball comes in, but Harry Maguire is way too strong for him and flicks it into the far corner. No chance for Wes Foderingham on this occasion. We go into half. Oh, actually, no. There was one just before half time on the 44th minute. Wes made a point blank one-on-one save from Garnacho. Like, Wes was just fantastic in this game, and this is another one where Garnacho should have scored. That's a second Garnacho chance where he should have scored. And Wes just gets a really, really strong right palm to this and kind of pushes it up and away. Really, really good save from Wes. Like I said, I'll be gutted if he's not in the goal against Newcastle. If he's not injured, he will be in the goal because he was so good. But if he is injured, I can see Gerbich going straight back in there. And yeah, that's not good for anyone. We go into half time, and do you know what? The first half stats tell us that we didn't deserve any sort of goal. I don't know how our expected goals was 0.24 when Bogle is bearing down on goal right in front of the keeper and it's a one-on-one. I don't know how that's at least a 0.24, or we must have had other expected goals in that game, so it must be lower than 0.24, which I find baffling. But it was that was our expected goals for the first half. Man U's 1.42. They probably should have scored a two or three in that first half if it wasn't for Wes. Ball possession 83% to 17%. That is not shocking at all because they had all the ball in the first half, and all we were trying to do is catch them on the break, which we did quite well, to be fair. And we probably should have not necessarily scored more goals, but certainly we should have got into better positions than what we did. We wasted good chances at times, or at least chances to create chances, if you like. They had 17 attempts, we had 3, 7 on target, we had 2, 10 off target, we had 1, etc., etc. So the first half was certainly more of a Manchester United half, but we could have easily gone in 1-0 up at half time and been loving life for at least another 15 minutes. But that was not to be. However, 5 minutes into the second half, like I said earlier on, Andre Brooks came off at half time for Vinny Souza. I was hoping that we were never going to see Vinicius's face again, if I'm being completely honest. There's been certain times in the season where I've really liked Vinicius. I really liked him on the Christmas video. He seemed like a really good guy. Luton, when he scored that third goal, he looked like he was loving life and we were loving him. But he certainly, it might be recency bias talking here, but he certainly not had a great season for me. I saw an Everton fan tweeting saying, "Oh, if we sell Anana, maybe we go and sign Vinny Souza. He's had a great season for Sheffield United." Has he? Has he? Who said that? Anyway, he comes on and he has an okay. He has an okay second half. Um, don't really remember him doing that much, to be fair. But 5 minutes into the second half, Ben Brereton Diaz scores from a cutback from Ben Osborne. It's fantastically played down the left hand side from Gus Harmer. He plays in Ben Osborne at the perfect time, and Ben passes to Ben, and Ben scores in the back of the net. It's great to see. Ben Osborne, lots and lots of respect for Ozzy. He's not the most gifted of players. I think he's actually quite a good technical player. Small, not quick enough, not strong enough. That's what I've always said. But he is a good passer of the ball. He's a good crosser of the ball, and he's got a mean shot on it. And he does quite often pop up with a goal when he gets a chance to. So it's great to see him pick up an assist, get down that left hand side from the Harmer ball. He cuts it back for Brent Brereton Diaz, who's kind of held his run and puts it in the back of the net past Anana. Great, great goal. What made me laugh when it was 2-2, I think there was an injury break. It might have been Wes. The commentator and the co-commentator were talking about these goals, And Jaden Bogle's goal wasn't an Arna mistake, apparently. Harry Maguire's header was the greatest header of all time. It's probably what he wanted to say, but he couldn't quite say that. So he had to say, fantastic header. It was decent, but it's bad defending. Ben Brereton Diaz's goal from Aussie's pass and Harmer's great work down that left hand side. I think they said he was left in the box on his own to tap it in, something like that. Not a great move by Sheffield United. And then the penalty comes, and it wasn't Bruno Fernandes scores a penalty. It was emphatically taken or something, some rubbish like that. So Man United's 2 goals were incredible. Our 2 goals were Man United mistakes or United mistakes, as they said. Unbelievable. I tweeted about this as well. Sorry, guys, I'm going off on a tangent here again. But to call Manchester United United when the first ever United is playing against them, also called United still, I just think it's massively disrespectful. I think it's disrespectful when anyone calls Man United United. But this is the world we live in. But it's just frustrating when you see a commentator who it's his profession to get all these things right calls Man United United when they're playing a team also called United. It's ridiculous. Anyway, 61st minute. This time we're allowed to be in front for 11 minutes, which is great to see. So, all in all, we were in front twice for 18 minutes in total, which sounds more than what I remember. But yeah, it's just it's a bit depressing, isn't it? Yeah, Bruno Fernandes scores from the spot. The ball comes in. I think it's Trusty that's got a hold of Harry Maguire a little bit here. In my opinion, the reason why this penalty is given is because earlier on in the game, I think it was the first half, Trusty was like this with Harry Maguire, would not let him go, and the referee stopped him, intervened, and Trusty must have let him go. On this occasion, this is not a penalty for me. However, I've not really got any qualms about the whole thing because one, Harry Maguire goes down, and that is a dive. It just is a dive because Trusty grabs him for a second and then lets him go, and he just falls to the floor. Now, if that's not given as a penalty, VAR aren't overturning that because he dived. He clearly dives, but VAR aren't going to overturn anything, are they? That the referee's given, unless it's clear and obvious, which it clearly was to me anyway. I don't know about you guys out there. But they put the ball in the back of the net anyway. So, like, to me, it doesn't really matter whether Bruno Fernandes scores the penalty or Dalot flicks the ball in the back of the net. Actually, it does matter to me a little bit because if a goal's going to go in, I'd rather it be Bruno Fernandes because I've got him in a fantasy team. But yeah, I'd rather it not go in at all. But yeah, either way, I'd rather it be a penalty because Dalot put it in anyway. There's always that little bit of a chance of a penalty not being scored, but he took it really well. Whereas I think he tries to do him with his body movements. I think he goes one way and then tries to go the other. But yeah, it's a good penalty by Bruno Fernandes. He doesn't often take him that emphatically, but yeah, it was a really, really well taken penalty. And this is where it all goes wrong because the Blades aren't going to be in front again. 20 minutes later, Bruno Fernandes scores that fantastic goal from distance. But before this happens, McAtee comes on for Archer, and then Norwood comes on for Bogle. Why, Chris Wilder? Why, I ask you? Why do you have to bring Norwood on every game? And I know we're tiring. And when Bogle came off, the coaching staff were asking him questions, so maybe he did pick up a knock. But it's always Ollie Norwood, and as soon as Ollie Norwood gets brought on, we concede goals. And he came on in the 78th minute. We conceded in the 81st minute by us not closing Bruno Fernandes down in the midfield. Now, I've not seen this goal back, so I don't want to blame this all on Ollie Norwood or even on Vinny Souza, even though I'd rather blame it on Vinny Souza. somebody's not closing him down. He's got oceans of space. Maybe they're thinking on his left foot, I don't mind him having a strike from there because he's not left footed. But these world class players are both footed. And this is a fantastic effort. I'm saying effort because, as I said right at the start of the video, I feel like Wes picked up an injury from McTominay going through and getting a foot on him. He went down. Wes does love to go down. He does get injured quite a lot, goes down and then carries on. But in this situation, he goes down for quite a while and he gets back up, but he's just not moving in the same way. And I know as well as you do that goalkeepers, if they're struggling to walk and move and stuff, they're not going to get to a ball as quick as what they normally would. Um, Gerbic loves to concede a goal from distance, but Wes not as much. And I think he gets closer to this and maybe gets a hand to it, and maybe even keeps it out if he's not injured. But I might be wrong. Maybe he's not that injured. Maybe it was just a fantastic strike. It just didn't it came at a nice height. It comes like halfway up the net, so I just felt like maybe Wes could have done better, and I'm gonna blame that on the injury anyway, and I'll leave it there because I might be completely wrong. This is just my opinion. And then 4 minutes later, Hoyland finishes the game well and truly off. Bruno Fernandes does well down that right hand side. He flicks the ball across the box. Anel's not quick enough to stop it. And then Trusty kind of just lets Hoyland run off him and just lets him tap it in the back of the net. But not just that, Trusty lets Hoyland go. And Holgate, I think, lets Garnacho go. And it's almost like if Hoyland don't put it in the back of the net, Garnacho is going to put it in the back of the net. And that's what really frustrates me, and that's maybe one of the reasons why I've put pathetic defending in the title because, like, it just that fourth goal really got on my nerves, and maybe it's recency bias, the reason why I titled it like that. I might change the title um, once I've seen the goals back, but really poor. Mason Holgate really annoys me in this one, like I've just said, but also there was another one where Dallo goes through. Dallo makes a really good run from left back. The ball gets played over the top. I think this is when we're 2-1 up. And Mason goes for the ball, completely misses it, and he goes through one-on-one. Now, you either get this ball, and you either go for it and get it, or you sit back. You don't go for it and miss it. Whatever happens, you don't go for it and miss it. It looks like he's nonchalantly trying to control it, and it just goes past him. And it's like, what are you doing, man? Just if you're struggling, get rid of the ball, put it out for a throw in. But fortunately, Trusty gets back this time and does really well and helps Wes out. And that's all I really want to talk about in this game, to be honest. I quite often do it. I'll show you behind the curtain here. This is what I usually do. So I'll write notes for the first half, and then we'll start conceding loads of goals. And I'll just write goal 81, goal 85, because I've run out of steam, and I'm sick of seeing us concede goals. I feel really sorry for our attackers because they do all they can week in, week out to try and get us points, and the defenders just let them down. Whether it's really good play from the attackers or it's poor defending from the defenders, it's just not fair. It's really not fair on the attackers because Brereton Diaz ran his socks off. Harmer ran his socks off. I think it was Ollie said the other week that that Harmer struggled with fitness at times. In the 97th minute, Harmer was chasing down lost causes, and that's what you love to see from someone like Harmer. Like I say, Arblaster again had a really good game. Bogle had a really good game, in my opinion. The three centre backs, Holgate, Anel, and Trusty got a 5.8, a 5.9, and a 6 rating out of 10 on Flash Score. Wes got a 7.6. I don't know how Bogle. Well, Wes conceded 4 goals. I suppose that's probably the reason why his rating wasn't higher. But yeah, he did make some fantastic saves in this game. I'll quickly run through the stats. In the second half, we certainly had more of the ball, 40% possession to their 60, obviously. We had a higher expected goals of 0.62. Um, we had 2 shots on target. So overall, 4 shots on target, 6 off. I don't think that's too bad going to Man United. 0.86 expected goals, and we've scored 2 goals. We didn't do badly in this game. We put a lot into it. We put a lot of effort into it. And I was quite proud of them tonight, to be perfectly honest, especially after that Burnley game. I was really down. I think a lot of fans were really down, and I weren't looking forward to watching this game tonight, in all honesty. I was I was sat at work like normally when we've got a midweek game and I'm sat at work, I'm really excited for the game. I'm buzzing for it. I can't wait. Whether I'm going to it or I'm not, I'm buzzing for it, and I can't wait for it. And today, yeah, I was apathetic about United playing, which is really sad, really sad. And I bet there's more blades, well, a lot more blades that were on the same lines as me today. But yeah, it quite often works out when you're not, especially this season, when you're not expecting anything, the blades come out and play really well and give us some hope. Crystal Palace away, for some reason, I think it must have been at that time we were just losing, 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 losing. I didn't have any expectations going into that game. And I think we did the same as we did tonight, and we went 1-0 in front and then 2-1 in front. And then obviously lost the game. Aston Villa, didn't expect anything from that. Played really well and nearly won the game. Obviously, drew it in the end with a throwing the game away as we usually do. But there's been so many away games this season where I thought we've got no chance, and then yeah, we go and score a goal or two, and yeah, it gives us that little bit of hope. But we always end up messing it up. Going to some comments now. Sam Jenkinson, the defending should have been better, but at least we've put up a fight. Absolutely. Softest pen I've ever seen. Yellow card, blockhead for diving. While the subs cost us, yeah, I mentioned that earlier on to action location. He said pathetic defending. What happened to closing players down on the edge of the box? Yeah, we just sat in our box and wait. Good enough. Not good enough. Glad Wes is back. Absolutely. Funny, in it? No matter how many good saves our keeper does, we always go 4 down. Yeah, it's really, really sad, isn't it? It's really sad. But the thing is, at least with Wes, he's made some great saves tonight. I would absolutely love to go back in time, play Gerbich, and see how many of those that Wes saved tonight that Gerbich would have saved. I'm not saying that he wouldn't have saved some of the ones that Wes saved tonight. I just would like to know that answer. We'll never know that answer, but I'd like to know that answer because I don't feel like Gerbich has been peppered this season as much as Wes. I feel like he's conceded a lot of goals that he probably should have conceded. A couple at the weekend against Burnley that I think he could have done a lot better with. There's been a lot of goals this season where I thought he could do a lot better with this. Um, but there's not been many goals where I thought he's made an absolute howler there, other than against Liverpool, kicking it against Darwin Nunes, I think it was. So tonight, Wes making all these fantastic saves. I've not actually seen Gerbich make many fantastic saves, or at least made some like point blank saves. And it's weird because he doesn't see that doesn't seem to happen to Gerbich. He doesn't seem to have these chances to shine. Not saying that he would. I'm just saying that Wes all season has been peppered. I don't think Gerbich has, but he's let in the shots that have come at him. Hi Nick, would you have gone? Hi Nick, would have gave you the quid if you needed it. Ah, yes, yeah. Very nice. I like that. So, what Craig's referring to here is that I was stood outside with my mum at the Burnley game outside the off license in between the John Street and South Stand, and I don't carry cash on me. Like, and my sister were going into the shop and paying cash. So I just said to my sister, "Will you get me a bottle of water?" And I'm like, "I don't have any change." So I said to my mum, "Have you got a quid?" It's like I'm 12 years old again. I said to my mum, "Have you got a quid?" And then Craig must have walked past me and said, "Oh, I'll give you that quid. I'll give you that quid." It just made me laugh because I did feel like a 10-year-old asking my mum for a quid. Yeah, I love that. Thank you. Why not bring Curtis for Bogle? Norwood comes on. We can see. Yeah, he clearly doesn't want to bring Curtis on. He either thinks he's not there yet, or he don't want to throw him into an environment where he's playing against some world class players like Garnacho. I'm not saying he's world class, but he's a very very good player. Boys play well tonight. Ref give them everything tonight. I think you're right. Um, Vinny messing around again. Crap subs. Ollie Arblaster. What more can you say? You don't need to say any more than that, Craig. Norwood subbed on again. I have zero pace, mobility, and my better days are behind me. So maybe Chris will bring me on in the next game. Great bants. That is great bants. I'm not going to get through all comments tonight because we've got so many, but thank you very much for everybody giving your opinions on the game. Obviously, we've all got opinions, and yeah, it's nice for everybody to get involved and throw them in the chat. Archer has some strength behind him. I agree. I agree. I think Archer's a really, really strong guy for his size. Um, so happy we started Wes. Optimistic for next season. No issues scoring. And Chris is a master at defensive solidity. Give him a pre-season and some signings. He'll fix this. Great bants. I thought that was great bants again because, yeah, we're not going to have the strikers that we've got on the pitch at the moment. And the defense has been horrific. So I thought you were joking, but actually, okay. I'll go with you. The worst defense in EPL history. I guarantee we'll shoot more than 8 goals in the next 4 games and be the first club to concede 100 plus goals in 38 games. A record that will stand for decades. Maybe, Paul, but maybe not. Obviously, this is the first season where we're seeing 10, 15 minutes added time. So there's bound to be more goals. There's bound to be shed tons of goals being conceded in the future as well. I hope you're wrong. You're possibly not going to be wrong, but I hope you're wrong because yeah, we've already had the worst start to a Premier League season. We've now got conceded the most goals ever in the Premier League. Let's not take that one. I hope not. I'm sorry, but Wilder cost us again. Why oh why take Brooks off? Sorry, I'm in Salford. Going to bed. Bring Nick Montgomery back in for next season. Nick Montgomery's a fantastic manager. Maybe he's a new Chris Wilder. Much better effort, but just sloppy at the back. Subs cost us. Why can't we keep players fit for 90 minutes plus? Big shout to our fans. Blooming awesome. Absolutely, Paul. Great shout out to the fans there. Better, but Groundhog Day again. Who else thought we'd lose it as soon as the subs started coming on? I said this to my missus tonight. I'm like, every time he brings Norwood on, we concede. And we did it yet again. Paul, if it weren't for Wes, let's face it, it'd have been it probably would have been, but I don't think Man United are that clinical. As in, if they go 4 or 5-0 up, they're not going and taking us to the cleaners, in my opinion. They're sitting back and they're not that sort of team, like I say, in my opinion. Man of the match, Wes, completely agree, Gaza. Defensive game went to pieces. First half, we were good, but our passing is terrible. Our team colorblind, giving the ball away. It's never easy being a Blade. Well done, Captain Arblaster. Yeah, big shout out to Ollie Arblaster for being the captain. I've had a big opinion on this with my friends and family talking about whether you should give the captain's armband to a 19-year-old, but I'm not in the dressing room. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why Wilder gave him the armband because if I would have been a player, a more senior player in that dressing room, I might have been like, why is he giving it to a 19-year-old kid? But fair play to Ollie Arbas, who's come in. He's done wonders for that midfield. We're certainly stronger, and we hold on to the ball better. So yeah, I'm not in the dressing room. Fair play, Ollie Arblaster. Whether I agree or disagree that you should be captain, you're a fantastic footballer and you deserve to be in that team. And it's crazy to think that he were on loan at League One Port Vale, and then he's come straight into injury, and then he's come straight into a Premier League midfield, and does not look out of sorts. He looks brilliant. Wes played really well. Not sure Susan Norwood came on. I guess we had no other options. Yeah. Um, Phil B, I agree. We're holding our own until Wilder makes those senseless subs. Tired Bogle is twice the player Norwood is. McAtee needs to go home. What a failure he's been. Osborne, Bogle, and where's Fab? Do you know what, Phil? I will stick up for McAtee here. McAtee was probably our best attacker until Ben Brereton Diaz came in. And he's been involved in a lot of good things that we've done this season, but recency bias does take over. And yeah, he's been really poor recently, really poor. And yeah, it's a shame because we had such great times with McAtee and Doyle last season. I don't want to see him leave and people have this memory of McAtee, because I think he'll go on and have a really good career. And you never know, we might get him back when we're in the Championship at some point if he doesn't quite make the Premier League step up at a different club or even Man City. So you never know, but yeah, he's not doing it at the moment, is he? Squad just isn't good enough. The result wasn't a surprise at all, considering how poor Man United have been this season. Absolutely agree. Our travelling fans were brilliant. Much respect. Made me feel like I was on the cop. Absolutely brilliant. Love that, Paul. Absolutely love that. League One, where's my lord? He's back. He's back, isn't he? Chris, without Wes, we'd have let 10 in tonight. Yeah, somebody else already said that. You're absolutely right. I'm excited to see Harmer Arblaster in the midfield next season. How many of the current squad would you keep, Nick? I feel like you've got to keep everyone except for obviously the players that are out of contract. I think out of the players out of contract, McBurney's a little bit of a spanner in the works now, because I would have said offer him a new contract, but if he's going to be out for months, I don't know. I don't want to make that decision myself. Obviously, I don't get to make that decision, and I'm kind of glad. I would give a contract to Egan. I'd probably say thank you to Ollie Norwood and see ya. I'd give Ben Osborne another year. I can't remember if I think Ben Osborne got another year, so I think he's up for renewal as well. So I'd give Ben Osborne another year. He's certainly proved himself in the Premier League in the kind of in Wilder's short tenure this time. I would. It depends if we're going to go for another goalkeeper, but I would give Wes another year if he wants it. If we're not going to go for another goalkeeper, because I'd rather have Wes in the team than Ivo Gerbic. What did you watch? Last I can't really read that. I'm too tired. I wouldn't give him one game, let alone 10 games. I'm sorry, but he's just clueless. What a fantastic two fingers to Wilder performance from Wes. Loved the way he walked off at halftime and never even looked at Chris Wilder. Did not see that at all. Stop moaning, Blades fans. Played well. Wes was outstanding. Dodgy decisions for two of the goals. Okay. Bogle, Matt, thank you for your comment, though, Paul. Everyone's got their own opinions, and mine's slightly different, but I see where you're coming from. We do moan a lot, and I do moan a lot. Bogle might have scored a goal tonight, but how many times did he give the ball away? Tons of times is the answer. And thank God for Wes. I'll be honest, I think rather see Bogle try something and give the ball away than us go backwards and sideways as we always do. Yeah, it's really annoying to see. Well, you scored more against. United. Manchester United, they needed against Burnley. That's a step in the right direction. Fair, fair. McGuire offside. McGuire made a meal of the pen. Fair enough. What happened with Brooks? I'm not sure, Rick. I'm not sure. I don't know why he came off. Hopefully, Wilder clears that up. But I don't think it was an injury. I think it was just a tactical swap, or maybe Wilder didn't think he'd put enough into the game. This season, we've been stronger after substitutions. Our squad under Hecky or Wilder been so weak. I completely agree. Completely agree. We'll move on. Pundits will never give us credit. That's a given. Right, I'm going to fly down to the bottom because we are 45 minutes into the stream. Oh my god, so many comments. Chris Eads always here and is obviously a member too. I think McAteer's lost his mojo and confidence is on the floor. Can't blame him. He's carried this team at times and been the best. Thank you, Chris. I absolutely agree. Burnett is out for the whole of pre-season at least. That is devastating. It really is. Yeah, it's probably just the end, just end of a long, hard season. Burning him out mentally. It happens. It happens to all of them, and it probably has happened to all of them. At least Ollie Arblas is not going to get that because he's got a lot of credit in the bank. On my way back from Manchester, we're playing nothing, but we gave Manchester United. We are playing nothing for nothing. But we did give Manchester United a good fight. Never been a pen. Thank you very much, Jamie, for that. Well done for getting yourself down to Manchester and watching the Blades, because I know there were still a few tickets left over, and obviously the Blades fans, including myself, I didn't go to this one. I'm going to Newcastle at the weekend, so if anybody sees me, give me a shout. You can tell me how rubbish Ivo Gerbic is. Shouldn't have said that. Should not have said that. So we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much. Make sure you like this video before you leave, ladies and gents. I would really appreciate it. The likes don't come in for these videos as much as the comments do. So I really would appreciate more likes, because more likes equals more views and more exposure. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully, the Newcastle game, we will put in just as much effort as we did in this one. And hopefully next time we get something out of the game and we don't lose 8-0 to Newcastle again. See you soon.